Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show Podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show Podcast.
Hello, welcome to Wednesday in the KVJ After the Show Podcast. What's up, Facebook? What's up, everybody on every other platform that we got too? YouTube, podcast listeners, all that good stuff. Thank you for locking it in and finding us. Here we are every single weekday. Right after 10 o'clock, we got this thing going down. Got a lot of your emails to jump into today here. Mail at kvjshow.com. Got an anonymous email here with a dilemma. A couple of my coworkers have tested positive for COVID last week. 4 other coworkers were in close contact with them while working, and those 4 employees are also out to quarantine for 2 weeks. We wear masks. We take them off only for lunch or while drinking water. Myself and 3 others at work have also been in contact with those employees that tested positive, and we are currently working with someone who has symptoms. The problem is that management is pressuring us to work because we are so short-staffed. I work for a huge company. They actually pay us to stay home for 2 weeks without having to use our sick vacation time, and I called HR, and they recommend that I stay home for 14 days. But it's stressing my boss out. Initially, I was not going to go to work today, but I got up and decided to go. I'm disappointed that management is more concerned with staying open than the health of their employees. I know I could make a phone call and make it an issue, but I don't want to go over my manager's head. I'm torn between quarantining for safety and not upsetting my manager. What would you do? I think there are a lot of circumstances in this. The first couple questions is, what is the nature of your health? Who are the people that you're around, and the nature of their health? I don't think so. One thing about these coronavirus is every situation is unique and different.
And how dicky is your boss? Has this guy or woman been a prick to you the whole time?
Yeah.
If they have been, maybe it's time we talk about some new circumstances.
They got it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a $30,000 raise. If not, I'm going fucking public.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of questions to ask as to how you're going to handle it. Yeah, I think that's one of the factors as well. What your nature is with the company, your nature is with the manager. Would they be able to know if you had said something, or is it, how do you exactly go about that? It would be nice if the company had an edict and said, look, everybody's got to abide by this, that if somebody, I think that our company pretty much has that kind of edict where we got protocols where if somebody does, then you know what the deal is. If we had somebody in here testing positive, then yeah, you got to do the tracing, you got to do the quarantining and all that good stuff.
I think if this is a major corporation, like they're saying, just the smell or the sniffing of, oh, really? You're forcing your employees to come to work, and you're giving guilt trips and all that. Let's see how Twitter does its thing.
Oh my gosh, Twitter would eat that company alive.
Well, people want to take down big companies that are doing wrong things anyway.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
This would be, they would be fucking loving this.
I'm curious with this scenario what the legal situation is, because there's many different things that could happen here with this. And I wonder how many COVID lawsuits are already out there where somebody like our anonymous emailer is in a situation where they felt pressured to go to work even after people had tested positive for the coronavirus.
Because that's a different situation than what we're in. We don't have anybody here that's tested. We don't have anybody here that's has symptoms. They have that. They have a right to be scared.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is ultimately what the question is. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens. And maybe it has to do with the outcome. Would the illness lead to a death? That's going to be a different kind of lawsuit than if somebody that just gets sick. And if they get sick, will that lawsuit have any kind of merit? Or be they going, what are you going to do, sue me next time you get the flu?
Well, think about, just imagine all of a sudden there's an email that goes around and goes, well, 5 people at work tested for positive, and Sniffles, he's showing symptoms, but he's not leaving. He's coming to work. You'd be outraged.
Oh, I turned somebody in that was here that had sniffles. I absolutely went to the boss and said, that person is sick. I'm not coming to work if they're not out of here.
We just got an email yesterday saying, if you have any symptoms, don't show up is basically it, and to take 14 days to make sure that you are not going to be bringing something in here. It's going to run rampant through us. So you don't want to be the Miami Marlins.
No.
Right. Because right now I feel like we're in a bubble. And maybe it's just my delusioned state of mind right now that's self-preservation motivated. But I feel like I'm not doing nothing crazy. None of us are doing anything exposing ourselves to new people. If we stay in this bubble, maybe we can keep safe. But as soon as you have somebody who's sick, who's working down from you, all bets off. That sick person is going to drive me insane if I have to sit here at work and hear them sick, breathing the same air as me. I'm going to lose it.
Well, this is the big problem with the coronavirus, is keeping everybody cool inside the bubble, even within sports. They have had their own issues. There was a professional basketball player that was a big story because the lure of the strip club was a little too much for him.
Oh, my gosh.
He had to see them titties.
And he ventured out and left the bubble.
Titties have brought a lot of men down.
I know. And if you get the urge and you need to get out there and see titties, I'll pull one out. Before I would be happy with you going to a strip club, I'd rather pull one out on KVJ TV.
Not necessarily. First of all, I'm not that hard up to where I have to go to a strip club. I don't really even go to strip clubs ever.
True.
Yeah, but that seems to be the whole thing where, they're saying you just need to find your bubble and get in that bubble and make sure that whomever you're with is cool and is not going to violate the bubble. In fact, they say that nearly half of Americans say that they've established social bubbles of people that they can trust to follow the rules for minimizing the risk of spreading coronavirus.
And that's what I keep telling Mags. She keeps asking if she can have this little friend over or that little friend. One of the damn friends went to Universal a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, no, I'm not allowing theme park Sally in my bubble. Sorry.
I mean, I've let a few other people in my bubble. I've told you guys about it, but I trust them. I mean, Klepto, he's got a family. He's not going out doing crazy shit. Mm-hmm.
Everybody in my bubble is just same as me.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Do what you got to do.
Yeah,
I can't control everyone, but the people that I can control are the people that are in my house. I'm certainly not letting some people in my house bubble that are just living their best life.
Mm-hmm. Researchers found 47% have formed a social bubble with friends or family, and 46% of Americans say they know someone who has tested positive for the coronavirus. That's a crazy high stat. That's up from only 4% who knew somebody who tested positive when the survey began in mid-March. So that just makes sense that that's up. But yeah, that's it. I think everybody's kind of got their own little bubble. But the problem is what do you do when somebody is compromising the bubble and that person is also family? That was the email we had yesterday with the woman who was all upset with her husband and is actually contemplating divorce because he was rogue about violating the bubble, didn't take all the precautions. He wound up with the coronavirus.
And
she
brought
got
it
the
home.
coronavirus. One of the kids has the coronavirus. It's the daughter, if I remember right, that has asthma. And luckily she doesn't have it yet. But the wife is so mad at him, who's now laying, with his corona ass back in the bedroom, and she's now, having to take care of him. She's just like, I am so angry with you that I told you were going to, and this is like, I told you so. And then sure enough, you got it and brought it home.
I know. The urge to put antifreeze in his iced tea is strong because I would have it too. But resist the urge. Don't kill him yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yet.
Yeah. But I think that's just it. I mean, with your email, here's the whole thing about coronavirus is there's so many X factors that it's like a formula that you have to plug in. And I still find it interesting, the 6 different cases of coronavirus that they had found in that study in England that they had come out with, to see that maybe we'll get to the point where we start identifying, okay, are you one of the 3 lesser or one of the 3 major?
But that article in England's only 50% accurate.
And how many people walking around have the lesser and haven't been tested that we don't know about?
But do
Because
we?
if you have the lesser and you
it
barely
is
have
true, yeah.
any symptoms
Yeah.
and you never went and got tested and you're not even being counted, but yet you're like one of the silent spreaders.
But we don't even know if that's true, though. We don't know if there's. I mean, I know Kevin's got the sixth thing, but we don't know if that's fact.
No, you don't. And they can't even get the regular testing on just do you have it, yes or no, right? So let's get that right first, and then we can worry about let's dial into which of the 6, if that is a thing, do you actually have. And it might just be that it's based on your body and what your deal is. They are finding different factors, bizarre factors even in some instances. I saw today that if you are 6 feet tall or more, you're twice as likely to catch coronavirus as shorter people. What?
That just sounds like they're making shit up. Some they're drinking or smoking. Oh yeah, if you're.
So if you're 5'11", you're good. If you're 6'1", you're screwed.
That's so stupid.
It's crazy. They're saying their theory on this, and they're just noticing a correlation in cases, is they believe that maybe you're up in the atmosphere, in the air, where there's coronavirus flying around.
We're sounding goofy as fuck right now. Not us, the species of humans.
It's crazy. So, that's one of it. And the other one that they had said is they are noticing that the more severe coronavirus cases are occurring with those who have a larger body mass index.
Yeah, I have seen that definitely. My sister even said that from treating the corona patients early on. The bigger the obesity problem with
Yeah.
the individual, the higher rate of death that she saw.
Yeah, they say the threshold number is 30. If you're over 30, you're at a higher risk. And one of the theories is that people with obesity have more ACE2 receptors in their cells. So you have more entry points for the virus to get into your cells if you're obese. And that would explain apparently why. So I guess you just got to figure out where you are. They say about 30% of Floridians are obese.
And now it's time for a juice cleanse, y'all.
Right.
Serious. If ever there was a time when you hear that story, drop that weight. This is your motivator.
Yeah.
I'll do any kind of juice cleansing except for lemon.
Yeah.
How are you feeling after
Terrible.
drinking that lemon juice?
I feel so bad. That bit has taken me out of the show. I have been just not myself since we've done that lemon bit. I've been nauseous and sick and full.
You got a poo?
No, I should have thrown up and I didn't want. I just, sometimes you just don't want to throw up. You don't have it in you. I didn't have it in me to throw up today.
So it didn't taste like country time?
It tasted like, no, who did it and ran is what it tasted like. It just sucks. It knocked out my energy. I feel bad.
The guy who broke the world record, he did kind of a follow-up on how he felt, and he said that he was, chowing Tums and stuff like that, because, I think
And then he died.
Yes. But he died with a world record, Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, death doesn't sound so bad right
You
this
died
second.
with quote-unquote KVJ impressive?
It's always weird, too. I knew it was going to be awful of a bit, but I did not expect me to feel this sick from that. That was a lot of lemon juice. That's a lot.
I think throughout the day,
A liter.
it's going to really stay with you.
Probably. Yeah, we
it's-
know how it works, Virginia.
I got an email here from Denise who thinks that maybe Jaybird had COVID. Just dawned on me. You remember when Jaybird was sick a while back and he couldn't taste or smell? And that was going on for a long period of time, and he started to really panic, thinking he was never going to enjoy food again. Out of the 3 COVID strains, one of the main symptoms is that you completely lose your smell and taste for a good minute. I think Jaybird should get tested. I know it was a while back, so maybe the antibodies even would be gone now, but just kind of curious if that's what he had.
Well, I took the test to see if I had it, and I didn't have the antibodies. And I took it a couple months ago.
But it also-
if you would have had it, I would have had it.
Not necessarily. I know it's contagious, but just think about any other kind of contagious disease. There is always that weird anomaly where you could be with somebody, spend time with them, and you still just don't get it.
You spit on me a lot,
And
and
you
I
s-
spit on you a lot.
A lot of balls. But I think when I was feeling sick like that, I feel like it was a couple months before COVID was even on the radar. The
Yeah, it
people will
was.
know
That
the
was a
dates
while
better
ago.
than I would. I don't fucking remember anything.
And I just drank a bunch of lemon juice, so
Yeah.
not on my game.
Definitely not.
And here is Nicole just telling a story. She is curious and want to know if any doctors could jump in on this. Now, she said, I'm not a doctor, but I do have a college degree focused on health sciences. And she had a close family member that went and got the test, and it like came back negative, but there was somebody that they thought they'd had it, and so that was already gone. So she's just trying to figure out if anybody in KVJ Nation as a doctor would like to weigh in on, people who have maybe tested positive for coronavirus and you go get the antibody test and it comes back negative. What the heck does that mean? There's just so much confusion in all of it. I think that's what's frustrating for a lot of people.
Maybe that's what the sole purpose of the disease wasn't. It wasn't to kill everybody. It was to confuse and make everybody turn on one another. Because all that confusion, that's what it's going on.
Well, I think one of the problems that is happening right now, and I was reading an article, it really kind of gave me an epiphany on it, is that I think with social media now, they were talking about, because the latest was hydrochloroquine and whether or not that video was legit that had come out that was supporting what Trump had been into. And somebody had said in the article said, look, there's always differing opinions in the medical field. Somebody will be like, I think it works. And somebody else will be like, I don't. Somebody will be like, well, this is trial tested. But now all of that is now happening in front of the public's eye, where normally it would happen in a lab and people would dispute it in a conference that wouldn't be broadcast to the entire world.
For sure. They have their own little strategy how they would do it.
Right, and somebody disagrees, Dr. A disagrees with Dr. B, but now it's become the two different points where somebody jumps on Dr. A's bandwagon versus Dr. B, and now they're fighting it over. And these kind of debates are natural in the medical field. But now we're witness to all of it, and we feel like we're getting ping-ponged and jerked all around, but these are the kind of discussions that typically happen.
It just we don't see how the hot dog's made, but now we're finally seeing it, and we're like, what? That's how it's made?
We don't like to see how it's made. We don't like these discussions because we're all confused because we don't know this stuff. This isn't what we do.
I can only imagine the fighting that goes on in the medical community when you've got two people going butting heads about they think they're right and the other doctor thinks they're right.
Because there's a lot riding on this.
It's shit, yeah.
There is so much money riding on this.
And they're hard workers and intelligent, so they're going to go out. They've sacrificed their whole life to be what they are.
The amount of money riding on this would make Bezos' money look like nothing.
And since this is a new disease, you're not really going to hear those definitive, concise, yes, this is 100% accurate and true. You're hearing the debates, and so realize that's what it is. Somebody has now released their opinion. Somebody likes that opinion. Be like, I like that opinion. I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to share this and retweet it and all that kind of stuff so everybody sees it. It doesn't mean it's right. It just means that a lot of people like that opinion.
Interesting perspective, Positive K. I like it.
Got an interesting thought here on face masks. If they are going to be a part of our life, and in South Florida, they have to be for the most part in most counties. Jesse had said, hey, I was hearing y'all talking about the clear mask, and it made me think, I work for the corporate office of a national early childhood education company, daycare, preschool, basically, and our schools are purchasing clear masks for teachers to wear because it's important for young children, especially babies and toddlers, to see mouths when speaking for their verbal and speech development.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I have a 16-month-old, and I'm hoping the solid masks don't hinder his development. His classroom doesn't have the clear mask yet, but I'm encouraging it. I'll even buy them for the teachers if needed. And you can see what the clear face mask looks like. She has a photo there on KVJ TV.
Oh.
See that? So
it's like a little window. It's It's like a mouth sunroof.
Which that's what we were talking about yesterday. That really is kind of neat because your mouth is a big part of the equation in expressing body language to people. And without the mouth, it's just the eyes. And yesterday we posted up on our Instagram, if you didn't get to see it, where people could try to read our emotions. And it's not easy for the most part. Virginia's good at it. I'm not. I'm terrible. I went 0 for 3 yesterday trying to judge Jay Bird's emotions in his masks.
Yeah, it can be tough. I think Virginia, my facial what I do over here.
Yeah.
You're too busy over there, Kev.
I've been watching you a while.
Too long. 16 years you've been watching my ass.
And I think I have you figured out.
Really intensely the last 7 or 8, and more like the last 5, really. Just love to watch.
I love to know what you're up to.
For some reason.
Yeah, I might be the stalker. You don't know.
You ain't this. You're not the stalker.
It's an interesting thought. Somebody said, hey, Kev, what about scented masks, like chocolate chip cookies?
Oh, my gosh, no. I want to eat all day.
I've noticed on shows where we really just prime the pump and talk a lot about food. Sometimes we'll go into like a 15-minute conversation about what's in the food and the sauces. I always lose my shit when I go home.
Because you just get all excited. It's like
It's food
foreplay.
It is. It's food foreplay.
Totally warming you up.
Totally.
On the KVJ confessional today, somebody had texted in and said, I don't know if anybody else does this, but I burp in my mask to smell if my breath is bad.
Oh.
I had a chicken sandwich the other day, and I had a bunch of raw onions on it, and I love raw onions on a juicy chicken sandwich. But I put my mask on after, and my breath was kicking. I grossed myself out.
That's the worst when you gross yourself out.
I was repulsed by myself.
I wish you wouldn't have told me that story.
Sorry. Now you're going to vomit up lemon juice. At least it'll smell fresh when you rouse.
There are things that are me and Denny's were talking about that the other day. The worst and the best things to throw up, milkshake by far is the best because it don't taste that bad.
It is. I used to be my go-to hangovers. I get a Wendy's Frosty. And if ever I chuck that thing back up, I'm like, that wasn't so bad.
The worst for me, we did a bit back at Wild where I was doing a dance Remember we were doing that traveling KVJ show where we would go out, we'd do like an hour and a half show. Well, we were really singing for our supper. I think I had to do a dance contest and then immediately followed up with a hot sauce chug.
Oh, my gosh.
And I threw up.
Who would ask you to do that?
I threw up so much hot sauce, and that was really rough. The worst. It was terrible.
That would be pretty terrible. On your mask, we solved the situation here, Jay Bird. It's Buckley. I'm the one who sent you that blue food face mask neck gaiter. I'm glad you received it. So that's the photo he sent there.
Thank you, Buckley.
Oh, Buckley.
That eases my mind.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
It's an awesome mask, even though
solid.
technically it's not,
Doing any good?
any good at all.
Looks cool.
It looks
It
great.
does. Yeah.
Zero functionality.
And if you ever
love
got
it.
into landscaping, it actually is a popular thing for them to wear during landscaping.
T-neck, that's turtleneck, T-neck, what's it called?
Neck gaiter.
Neck gaiter, turtleneck. I've
Better than a gator on your neck, it's a neck gator.
been calling it all kinds of weird shit. It's a V-neck.
It's a dickie.
This is an interesting thought. Somebody just texted at us. Sneezing with a mask on feels like shitting your pants with your face. That is an interesting thought.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Let me see here. A misconnection moment with the bird. I was listening to the show. I'm way behind, though. But did Jay Bird have a misconnection moment? He said that he was getting some food. Talked about how he thought a girl's eyes were making him all horny. That's how I heard it. You guys asked him about this on the ATS. What was going on here? It was
I was in the subline, and there was a really good-looking girl to the left of me ordering her deli meats or whatever, and she looked really hot, but she had a mask on.
Were you at the grocery store?
I was at a grocery store, yes.
Was it Joseph's Classic Market?
Yeah. Why?
I'm just curious, because what if the girl's listening and she's like, I was that girl?
Mm-hmm. Details aren't really,
I'm all about details, actually.
I understand. But yeah, she was to the left of me, and she looked really hot, but I could only see from the eyes up. She had an unbelievable body. She had really nice hair.
Yeah.
That means her booty was banging.
Banging. Oh, she was wearing like yoga pants. Oh, my God.
Yoga pants.
And she was giving you some eye kisses?
No, we just looked at each other a couple times.
Okay.
And I had
a couple times is, that's
if
you're
she
checking each
looked
other out.
a couple of times, that's good. Once, you don't know.
I mean, unless you're standing behind a product she needs.
Yeah, I was right behind the olive loaf, so I don't know.
And look at that. Oh, yeah.
No, it just made me think if you wanted to spit game, it would be tough as a single person with people that have masks on because you don't know what the fuck's going on. You had a good point when they got jacked up teeth.
Yes. Take off that mask. Like, how
Just
you
kidding.
doing?
That would date someone with jacked up teeth.
Hey, maybe she's the girl of your dreams.
Jacked up teeth girl?
Yeah. Jacked up teeth olive loaf girl. Maybe she can bring it.
Jacked. Well, her teeth, her body was so good, it didn't matter about her teeth.
Okay.
I'll get her braces. Fuck it.
If it's true love, we'll fix your
We'll figure
teeth.
this out.
Girl, you got a booty that I can invest in braces for.
We got a couple other things going on here, some very interesting things. One, I saw today that a federal judge has ordered several documents related to a now settled defamation case against deceased sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell to be released to the public no later than tomorrow. So maybe that'll come down today. We'll get some of these documents.
Lay it on us.
Yeah, they include Maxwell's 2016 deposition, her correspondence with Jeffrey Epstein, and a deposition from attorney and former Harvard Law School professor Alan Dershowitz.
Now, he's the friend of Epstein that a lot of people have accused of inappropriate behavior. He has doubled and then tripled down and said there's no video. I dare anybody to come forward and say they have any kind of proof of me with an underage girl.
Wow.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to hear the deposition that was formerly sealed. Love it.
Yeah, any kind of transparency in this case would be nice to be able to see what's going on.
I always want to hear about what's sealed in any kind of document. Why is this shit
If
sealed
they
up?
want it sealed, I want to hear it.
You hear about this a lot of times with politics and politicians where they've got all this shit sealed back from the 90s or from the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, what's in that sealed shit?
Let's figure out who the sealing protected.
Yeah, so if you like this case, I'm going to keep my peeps out today, so I'll retweet it or post up anything that I see that might come out if it does break today. But by tomorrow, it is supposed to be released. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Kanye's not doing the releasing or it won't be.
You don't think we're going to see some stuff where big names like Hollywood, like a Tom Hanks or anything, would ever come out of anything like that?
It seems like right now you kind of know the cast of characters, and I saw a list of it. There were maybe the top 4 or 5 names you would know, but there were a lot of people that had titles that were impressive that it might become players in this, but it seems like you already know who it could be. It's kind of like, all right, spin the wheel. But that'd be amazing if you're like, whoa, I didn't even know that guy was part of it.
I don't know if you all have seen those conspiracy theories on YouTube and online. They think people like Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg are all part of this Hollywood cult where there is some just nasty, terrible shit going on, and that's how they get all these movies, and they're friends with powerful people, and they're part of this sex cult. But I mean, but there are people that actually
I'd be
believe
like Eyes
it.
Wide Shut, a movie he did.
Yeah, but there are. It's not a lot of people, but there's a population of people that believe that there's some really sinister shit going on with some of your beloved, like your Hanks or your Spielberg, that would blow your mind.
There is definitely like a boys club or girls club or celeb club or whatever it might be that within circles, if you're in the circle, you get special treatment and you get gigs.
I mean, wouldn't that blow your mind if you found out Gump was just this
Pedophile.
just this sinister, this
Yeah.
sick.
I would be shocked to see somebody like him on the list. But some of the other names, I mean, these are already people that hung out with Epstein. There's pictures of that, like your Prince Andrews.
Yeah.
I think some people have accused of Roger Stone. Don't know if that's true. Like your Alan Dershowitz.
Yeah.
All these people like already hung out with Jeffrey Epstein. So we're not going to be shocked when we hear that, if they are included in this, that they're dirtbags. But it would be scary if you find out that, like, celebrities you thought were sweethearts actually were pedophiles. That would rock me.
Well, it'd be amazing if there were really crazy, salacious details and there was proof to back it up.
That's what I'm saying.
A video that
Yeah.
you're like, wow, look at that video.
Well, they're saying that Jeffrey Epstein had all of these rooms wired up with video and that he had powerful people
Yeah.
in those rooms with underage girls, and he recorded everything just in case he needed to blackmail somebody in the future.
You wonder with someone like that, like an Epstein or even a Bill Cosby, someone that's, terrible like that. Were they always terrible, or did something happen? Like, when did they first start getting those feelings of trying to do bad stuff? You know what I mean?
If you watch the Filthy Rich documentary that we watched on Netflix,
Yeah.
you can kind of see how Jeffrey Epstein evolved into what he was, a monster at the end.
But was he a monster? Do you think he was born a monster?
I don't think he was a monster early on. I think he grew into it.
Yeah, I think it's with access and opportunity. I think that we all have those inclinations, good and bad, within us. And it's whatever you feed more, the good or the bad side. And then when you have opportunity and money and things like that, then, one little bad thing the next time's easier to do, and it becomes bigger, and it's like a seed. It just grows.
And then you get away with it. And then Acosta doesn't even punish you when they have you and they know you're guilty.
Well, too, if your people, your circle normalizes it and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And
then,
that very much happens.
then you don't think that
If there's no accountability.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff we see today where we see celebrities are just, so repentant over things they've done terribly. They're mainly repentant because they got blasted so hard by the public that they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. They're not really necessarily sorry about what they did. They're sorry about the treatment they're getting for what they did.
Oh, yeah.
And without accountability, a lot of people going unchecked, they'd be...
Celebrity apologies or something else.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should never let a PR person do them. I think they should be raw and real with their emotions as a person.
We'd never get one.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these PR written ones are terrible.
And with any big bombshells coming out, realistically, you probably won't get what I want, at least until Ghislaine Maxwell goes on trial and it becomes, something that is in court, that is evidence in the case. That's realistically when I think you'll probably see the big stuff. They say that she is getting some interesting treatment in her Brooklyn jail. They say she has a floor all to herself, and the other female inmates had to clean and polish the area for Ghislaine before she moved in. They also give her extra recreational time, according to the other female inmates. They are saying that they get 2 hours of recreational time per day. Ghislaine is getting 3. And basically, they are watching her from their jail cell windows as she is out in the courtyard jogging in the outdoor space. And they're keeping track of the time, saying, this is not right. This is not fair. Why is she getting the preferential treatment?
If any of this is true, who knows?
I believe the inmates.
You believe the inmate.
Mm-hmm. She does have 24/7 security outside her cell.
And somehow she'll go missing.
Somehow she's going to hang herself too.
But the video's gone. There's a glitch, another glitch.
And they're also regularly moving her from cell to cell. I guess that would be so that if, somebody slides a shiv in there so that she can take care of herself, that they'll move and keep the questions as to where she might be.
I mean, she's only been in jail not that long. She's
long
already
at all.
exercising. I'd be like, fuck that. I'm gonna sleep this one off for a minute.
You're not exercising if you go to prison, huh?
Not right away. I do try to get swole when I have to defend myself, but in the beginning, the first week, I'm just trying to figure that shit out. Unless I go in, with my alter ego as Bones.
Bones.
Then I'm fucking shit up.
Okay. Yeah, there's a couple other interesting tidbits. One I saw in the entertainment game, Universal Pictures and AMC, the world's largest movie chain, they've reached a deal to shorten the window between U.S. theaters and streaming services to just 17 days. Just over 2 weeks, down from 90. Remember, a movie would hit the theaters and then 3 months later you get it?
Yes.
Now it's 17 days, and they believe this may forever change the way Hollywood does business.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's released where you can get it at your house, only 17. Is that what you're saying? 17 days after you can rent it at your place?
That's what they just came up with the agreement for.
Dude, no one's going to ever go to the movies.
It's a bad time to own a chain of movie theaters.
I mean, it really is.
Well, you can see that what they're doing, Universal and AMC, those are, they're trying to say, hey, how can we adapt and stay in this game? Because you're right. Who wants to come see us? So if we can get a piece of the pie, let's do it.
I mean, if Corona starts to subside and things get somewhat back to normal, but I don't see the movie theater doing well for another couple years now, at least.
Say at least a year before people are going to comfortably go into a theater. Though I did see when we were talking about, are you wearing masks, not wearing masks? It was 50-50 when it came to movie theaters. I'm like, one, I can't imagine going to a movie theater, and two, then not wearing a mask.
Do we have theaters open here in Palm Beach? Like, if I go to Cobb, can I go see a movie?
Theaters, I believe, are shut down here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're shut down. I wouldn't be able to tell you because there's no way I've even thought about going. But yeah, I drive past one a lot, and it looks like a ghost town.
Broward and Miami-Dade, I think, definitely. Palm Beach, I'm not positive.
It's weird because there's parts of the country where they're not even wearing masks. There's no, it's not a hot zone. So your life, it's so weird just how our life is so different than someone in the middle of the country right now.
Yeah.
Just on basic bullshit.
On answer earlier, we were talking about working out with the Peloton and what all do they have. Cynthia let us know that they do have running, yoga, weight training, meditation, and cycling.
Wow. So they have everything.
Yes.
Meditation, huh?
Yeah.
Some guru, you have to spend $900 and he teaches you how to.
And coming soon, masturbation.
Are they hiring for the guru?
Did you see Jayford on the other end doing a...
Here's what you guys want to do. You want to take
Who knows better?
Let me introduce you to my apprentice. His name's Soups.
Soups.
Oh, man. And I got a shout out here today. You might remember Cesar from Green Acres, his daughter Addison. They had come up and paid us a visit. You can see that when we were in our non-social distancing times there in our lobby.
Yeah, we're all cuddled together, taking a picture.
It's on
Cesar's
KVJ
real
TV.
nice.
Absolutely is. And his daughter Addison is 8. I want to give her a shout out and some positivity. She's going to Joe DiMaggio Surgical Center in Wellington on Thursday for an unknown mass in her left arm. It just appeared out of nowhere on Sunday morning. Now she's nervous and confused, and she also loves you guys so much. And that was August 16th on her 8th birthday. That photo I just showed you on KVJ TV.
Aww.
So there you go. So Berg gave her a donut.
Be strong. You're going to go in there. You're going to have this little procedure. It's going to be nothing, and then you're going to be fine.
And when it's all done, we're going to get you some more donuts.
Yeah, girl.
And they do really good stuff there. That's a great place to go. They know how to take care of kids.
We're over there a lot with Little Smiles, and Joe DiMaggio really has a great facility.
Also got a text earlier today from our bud Efren. And he had said, happy anniversary to your show, Kev, and many more to come. Efren is always on it. He's one of our diehards and a fantastic gentleman. And I believe today would kick off 6 years at WRMF for KVJ.
No
so that would be
shit.
the anniversary
Yep.
he's talking about. We started...
Today's our first day
6 years?
of the new...
I can't believe we've been here that long.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Pretty crazy stuff. So
I think Efron, I believe, did he start listening to us down in Miami?
he did. That's where we picked him up. I remember we were doing an event for the old station in, was it Plantation?
Yeah.
It was a parade that we'd done there, maybe a Christmas parade, and that's where we first met Efren. And yeah, so he'd picked us up from there. And we have a lot of great people from, Broward and Miami-Dade that are able to get us on WRMF down there. That's the great thing about WRMF is we hit all the way down to the Keys. So we've got all those people still with us.
That's what I was kind of shocked about with our very small stint in Miami. We did get quite a few people that heard us in Miami and that are still with us, which is really awesome.
They did. They heard the potential. I will admit, it takes a little while to figure out what the hell is going on with this show. And in Miami, they weren't willing to give us the time. But yeah, when people stick with us, like going, yeah, I hated you guys for like the first 5 months. But then, oddly enough, for some reason, I like you.
That's a lot of shows, by the way.
Yeah.
I know even for me, I hated the wrestler Scott Hall. I fucking could not stand him. And by the 5th time I watched him, he became my favorite wrestler of all time. And I've done that with shows as well where I don't like certain people or certain things. And by the 5th show, I go, oh, I kind of like that.
You have to figure out what it is and wrap your brain around who and what it is. And that's why these celebrities that have a podcast, they do well right off the bat because they skip that whole, I have to figure out who this person is and what they are, because we already know these celebrities. So like your Dax Shepard that started a podcast, he did great right out of the chute. Everybody knows who he is, loved him, loved his podcast. But everybody, including myself, had to warm up to his co-host, Monica, because we're all kind of like, okay, who's this bitch? What? What is she talking about? Shut up. I want to talk to Dax.
Well, anytime you're new to an already formulated show. I remember when I first got on the show, people were dicky to me because I wasn't fucking Todd.
Yeah.
And you weren't fucking Todd either.
I wasn't fucking him either. Man.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way it goes. And our show is definitely in that category of slow bake. But hopefully once you figure out what we're all about, you're all there, and you will be for quite some time. So to Efren and everybody else, let's go, baby. Year 6, I
We
guess.
love you guys. Thank you for being here.
That's right. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.